Let's talk about that now increasingly famous car chase that happened at the end of last week in Manhattan. Meghan had just received some weird award for being a wonderful woman or something. You know, these strange awards she gets don't seem to be for anything. A bit like Gary Lineker's award that he's getting in Rome for helping migrants or something. I mean, these people, they get these awards, you can't quite work out what exactly it is they did. Anyway, she got her award for being the world's most wonderful, free-thinking, wonderful woman or something. And then they got into a car and they said they had a 2-hour near-catastrophic car chase pursued by 6 cars full of paparazzi. Everyone else has a different story. The NYPD said it wasn't near catastrophic. They said it was a bit chaotic, that was all. The taxi driver who picked them up at one point said there was no big deal, no real drama, very low speed. Didn't see what all the fuss was about. The mayor of Manhattan, of New York, said couldn't have been 2 hours, 10 minutes maximum. So in other words, the entire story of this near catastrophic car chase is challenged by everyone else apart from the gruesome twosome themselves. Let's talk to Talk Radio's royal correspondent, Rupert Bell. Hello, Rupert.
Morning, Kevin.
Yeah, this story gets stranger and stranger, doesn't it? I mean, no one's story seems to gel with the story that they're telling. Harry and Meghan. You can't help feeling that somewhere or other they build up these situations, they exaggerate it, and they're starring their own melodrama to make headlines, and somehow or other that makes them money. But when they said it was near catastrophic, I equate that with saying it nearly rained. When you say it nearly rained, it means it didn't rain. Near catastrophic means it wasn't catastrophic. The mayor said it couldn't possibly have been 2 hours, 10 minutes maximum. The police, NYPD, said it was a bit chaotic, no more than that. The taxi driver said very low speed, no drama, no big deal. Everybody's story says this wasn't up to much, except for the gruesome twosome themselves, who say it was near catastrophic. I suspect here, Rupert, that what we've got is another example of Harry and Meghan's truth as opposed to the truth.
I think clearly the 2-hour timeline, I don't think people are disputing from whence they left the hotel where the awards ceremony was taking place to the time they got back to their friend's house where they were staying. So that probably is right. What seems to have happened, and I think the most telling interview, I think, is the cab drivers, when I look at all that's come out, because obviously he was, in inverted commas, on the front line of this and suddenly finds himself in the middle of this going on. And he gives a very reasoned view of what actually happened and that it wasn't anything unusual. But I think the important thing is he then said, clearly, it did then resonate, the fact that there were these photographers out on the street, that causing some anxiety for Harry, Meghan, and indeed his mother-in-law, who were in the back of the cab, and also the security guard. I think really the Sussex's security team need to look at how they allowed this situation to develop, because New York is used to having celebrities in town. It is, as you know, that's what New York's all about. You know, Tinseltown, you know, everything goes on there. Yeah. Celebrities come and go on a regular basis. And I think that's where we have to say there was clearly, it was uncomfortable for the Sussexes, but actually ultimately you might have to say, well, how did their team allow this situation to happen? Because they would have known there was going to be photographic interest. There was. She turned up, she was photographed, and then as they left, they were photographed. And clearly there's a degree of interest, but no one is charging around the streets of New York at 80 miles an hour, but they somehow found themselves in a situation that caused them anxiety. And this, I think they need to look at how that was able to happen given what goes on in New York, where these, I suppose, photographers are out on the streets photographing celebrities as they come and go on a regular basis. Whether you agree or disagree with it, that is the nature of life in New York.
Yeah, I mean, no one's condoning the harassment of famous people by the paparazzi, but it does happen all over the world. And what the NYPD seem to be saying, and indeed the taxi driver who was involved, is that it wasn't any big deal. So this couple, Harry and Meghan, stand accused of exaggerating the facts. That is what they are alleged to have done, is to have blown this out of all proportion in order to make headlines and to get talked about.
Well, yes, and if I was the organisers of the Vision of Women award award ceremony that took place, I'd be pretty hacked off, actually, because all the attention could have been on the award if they just walked away and nothing had happened and said nothing. This wouldn't have even probably revealed itself to all and sundry, and they could have just gone. It may have happened over 2 hours. They got back, but if they'd stayed quiet about it, then all the focus would have been on the award. So instead, it is now turned into, that is almost the sideshow and an irrelevance, and actually people questioning the legitimacy of the award in many ways, and because now we've got a complete sideshow has come about because of their appearance in New York. So for the organisers, this is not the sort of post-event publicity that they were presumably hoping for. And so therefore the whole thing, it just feels uncomfortable for all and sundry. And once again, as you quite rightly say, from the moment the Sussexes they've put their foot in it, because what their version of events just at times is so insular that they're not seeing the broader picture. And that's, I think, the frustration for so many, and maybe members of the royal family themselves. They create a drama when there isn't really one. They should just be getting on about their business, which is for them reinventing their lives in a working capacity, trying to, as I say, step back from the royals, earn money whatever way they want to, and get on with their lives. But with this sort of endless feeling of another soap opera moment, you just think, oh my goodness me, the sort of Sussex fatigue just seems to come on again and again and again, and we get bored with the drama that is surrounding them. Why can't they just find a way just getting on with their lives, however that manifests itself, and getting on with their lives, because clearly Harry's got to find something to do that gives him a sense of legitimacy and purpose. And at the moment, he feels like he's a rudderless ship at the moment.
Indeed. Rupert, great to talk to you as always. Talk Radio's royal correspondent, Rupert Bell there.